my name's Lilian Cordell and I am the author of this cookbook here called Miriam's Table. And as you can see, it is called the Bukharian Cookbook. So the Asia Society has asked me to share with you all my childhood memories, my childhood culture, and all the food that I was brought up with from my parents. And my father, John Abramoff, was born in 1913 in Samarkand, which is now Uzbekistan, and he was one of 15 siblings. And my mother, Miriam, was born in Jerusalem in 1926, and she was one of only 8 children. And I remember as a child experiencing all these wonderful foods. So when my mother died some 6 years ago now, in 2014, I took it upon myself, with help from my family, to produce and self-publish this cookbook. It has over 80 recipes of Bukharian cuisine that have now been handed down, and I made sure that this cookbook has been distributed and sold to all my family, therefore it's for the next generation. And since I self-published this book, to date we've sold 1,200 copies and raised over £17,500 to the 3 UK charities. So all profits go to those charities. You've heard all about now Miriam's Table, and about my mum and about my dad, and you're going to hear a lot more because I want to chat to you while I prepare and show you how to make the ultimate Uzbekistan treat. And the food is chicken pilav. Some say pulao, some say plov, and we called it, or call it, chicken pilav. Here's the empty plate, and we're going to go into the kitchen now, and I'm going to show you all the ingredients and how you can also make a chicken pilav. Good luck. Here we have in the book pilav, and please note that all in the book you've got always the recipe and a photograph of the food, because obviously people don't know what pilav is. So the main ingredients of a chicken pilav is obviously your chicken, which I've cut into, I think this is just a normal sized chicken, 2 kilo sized chicken, and we've cut it into, I think there's about 10 pieces there. We have got sunflower oil, and we've got onions that I've sliced here for you. And then we've got our chicken pieces. We have a litre of chicken stock, which I'll show you how you do that. A kilo of carrots that have been peeled and then grated, and they're quite thick. It's not small, it's quite a nice full size carrot grate. Then we have some raisins, and our most important, and I'm going to share with you the secret of perfect rice. Here we've soaked it overnight with warm water, and there's 2 more additional ingredients. I wonder if you would know how to make the rice shine very white and always have separate grains. I'll tell you the perfect ingredient. The other ingredient is just a squeeze of lemon and some salt that goes in overnight, okay? And here we have the ingredients for your chicken pilav. Okay, look, I've heated up the saucepan. It's quite a large saucepan with my 6 tablespoons of oil, and I'm just going to now put in the onions. I do love that sound of frying onions. Okay, now I'm telling you all the little tricks that none of the people normally share with anyone, because my mother never shared with me any of these recipes, because nobody could ever make pilav as good as her. And I love the fact that she wanted to have that as a very special thing, especially for her children and grandchildren. And my mum did a lot of catering. The story is that she was born in Israel, and my father's parents were born in Samarkand, but then they did move to Israel. And it was a lovely match-made wedding. My mother was 21 and a half when my father phoned her from London to say, I'd like to marry you. And exchanges were made with the families, and eventually Mum moved and left her life and her home in Israel to come to London, where my father lived, and they set up a very happy marriage together. And I think what really held them both together was their common love of their heritage of being Bukharian. You notice now I fried the onions, but the onions, I didn't add the chicken until the onions were really translucent. And then I've added the chicken, and I think it might be ready enough now. No pink bits I can see on the chicken. Yeah. I think we're almost covered. So I can start adding the stock. So in this pot at the moment, we've got the onions that have been frying, translucent. Oh, actually, it's probably quite ready now. Yeah. And I forgot to mention, my husband Sheldon is filming, and he's my sous chef, or loves to help me. What do you think, Sheldon? Ready? I think it is, yeah. Okay, we're now going to pour in some hot stock. It's just a stock cube, enough to cover the chicken. Oops, let's just make sure that it is all covered. A bit more. And I always add to the stock the salt and pepper. There you go. So we'll wait for that to just boil up, and then we can cover it for about 40 minutes or so. Where's my saucepan lid? Here we go. See you later. So we've had the chicken boiling in the stock, and I've removed the chicken. I put it in a bowl here, and I've separately got the onions and the stock cube, the stock. God, there's a lot of oil on the top there, but we'll decide what to do with that. Now, here we've got this empty pan, and I'm just going to put the carrots, the coarse carrots, can you see? They're quite big. And just sprinkle them over the saucepan like that. As you can see, I've placed now the chicken pieces and just managed to place them as tight as you can, and you can just see the carrots underneath. And now we're going to place the carrots on top of the chicken and see how much we can cover it so that you can't even see the chicken. Got loads of carrots here, and I think it's 1 kilo of carrots. There we go. Just let them out. There we go, like that. I'll just make sure that everything is covered. Okay, so this is probably the second layer. Oh, I forgot to put the onions in. So the carrots are now covering the first layer of carrots, the chickens with the onions, and the layer of carrots on top. We are then going to put the raisins, and we have to find a little pocket. So we'll do one pocket there, and I think one other pocket there. And just fill in the raisins like that. And I think we can just pour them in like that. That's correct. And we just cover the raisins with some carrots. So now we've got a layer of carrots. And make sure that the raisins are covered. And we put the raisins in little pockets because some people don't like the carrots. And then I'll show you what it will be as we take it all out and delayer it. Well, I've now, looking down on the pot here, we have the carrots, underneath, as you know, the raisins and chicken and onions, and I put lots of salt, lots of pepper, and also we never forget to put a little sprinkling of sugar, so it makes it lovely and sweet. And I'm going to just put it on a very low heat now, and I'm going to add the original stock. And I've actually taken a lot of the oil, drained a lot of the oil, and we just pop it in there so that it will start to surface, which gives some moisture and liquid to the base where the chicken is. And then once that's come to a surface, which still keep going, okay, I think that might be enough. Okay, and I'll cover it until I hear it beginning to bubble. And now let's see what's going on. So it should start bubbling away. We've got everything underneath there. I have drained the rice. So now this is your soaked rice that's been overnight soaked with warm water, and you rinse it through so that all the starch then disappears. So as you've then got some warm running water through the rice and it's clear, that's where you let it soak in that water with a squeeze of lemon juice and salt. And you have this perfect basmati rice. Okay, this is Tilda basmati rice. So I'm just going to then place it on top of everything, the carrots. Are you seeing it like that? Boiled water in here so that we can make sure we use all the rice, and just pour it in. Okay. Like that. And here we're going to just cover the rice. It's flat. And we then need to place some more boiled water. Thanks God for the hot water tap. Whoops. And it just needs to be about 2 centimetres above the rice. Okay? Whoops. I think a little bit more. Men never used to cook all those years ago, but my father always used to say it should be 2 fingers. So why not give him also a mention? I think that should be enough. Now the chicken is on top of the stove and the rice is being cooked. I think it's time to introduce you to brown eggs, which we call tahumi or sava. And overnight, or very early this morning, I have boiled some eggs in onion skins. Can you see? And we're going to fish around to find, oh look at that, beautiful brown eggs like this. They are absolutely gorgeous. I love this colour, and the smell also reminds me of those days, and I think the dog also likes the smell of these eggs. So here we've got our brown eggs. There's quite a few of them. And I'll show you how we eat them when we get to the table. Guess what we've got? This is it. Okay, so this is our pilav. Now, the important thing is that when you see every grain is separate here. Like that. And we just make sure that we don't mix it all together. Okay. Oops, put it over here like this. Now you remember how we oops. Oh, it's looking good. What do you think? The rice is separate, and if the camera can just see it on top here, how we've got, whoops, I'm now going to scoop up more of the carrots, and we just, and then we've got those, remember those 2 pockets of raisins that I'm going to find in the, there we go. So I've pulled them out, and I'll just, that's one pocket, and then the other pocket is down here. Okay. Like that. So there's more raisins like that. And now we're just going to scoop up everything else. Make sure we've got that. And now we've got to find the chicken pieces so they're not all there we go. So we've got one bit there and another piece, and we just place them on top of the rice. Whoops, we've got a leg there and some other pieces. Oh, it looks rather delicious. So when my mother used to place this on the table, it was generally for the family. A lot of the time it was for entertaining my father's clients, his customers. He was in the import and export business, and it was always to help with business, serving this chicken pilav. I think one last bit can go on there like that. And we've got just this bit that we can just place around like that. Whoops. Wow. And I'm proud to say that it hasn't got a burnt bottom, which is really good news. Can you see that? There's no burnt bum. And then we can sprinkle these lovely golden carrots all over. Smells again good, doesn't it? Like this. Wow. How many do you think this could feed? It says between 10 and 12, but I think it can feed a lot more. So, let's take it to the table. And off we go. We've done it. So I'm here now to show you what Miriam's table used to look like, and it still does, because we are going through the generations to myself, my children, and hopefully grandchildren. We'll continue these wonderful traditions. I'm desperate to try the pilav, the chopped salad, the home-baked bread, the Bukharian bread. Here are our samosa, our meat pies, and we've got the brown eggs. We've got some non-tokki, which is crisp bread, and that's why we call it, because they're very crispy. And I think I will serve myself some pilav, because I can show you how delicious it is. like this. I'm only going to have a little sample, some chopped salad and the brown egg, whoops, which we normally used to hit on each other's head, but I will just quickly peel that. So I've got it all here. And the most important thing is to eat this with your family, enjoy the flavours of Uzbekistan. And we have our vodka here, which, I think I'd like to toast everybody. And I'm hoping that you will come to visit Uzbekistan and enjoy the flavours. And if you want to purchase one of Miriam's Table, the cookbook, we'll give you the website just after. And you don't need to see me eating, but I want to wish you all a really good life, happy and healthy, and enjoy the flavours and this ultimate Uzbekistan treat.